Okay, this is a little sound report about the fantastic Cherry Audio P-10, which is a synthesizer emulation by Cherry Audio based on a vintage synthesizer with 2 keyboards. And there were also different P-10s or Prophet 10s. So, for example, if I play the keyboard, I can distinguish if I want to play the upper or the lower layer, or both, which is the case now with double mode. I could assign MIDI channels to different layers. I could also use an internal keyboard with Command K to play notes via laptop keys. I can also enter drone mode, and this is interesting because that means notes will keep on playing regardless of the envelopes. And you can hear all those voices playing, but this is now stopping at 12 voices, and the reason is that I can assign the number of voices here in the assignable voices area. And in order to see this in more detail, I can zoom in with 150% or just turn on focus mode and then scroll through my synthesizer. So this is really handy. I find this really comfortable to work with the synthesizer with these options. Let's see a bit more of the ways that one can interact with the synthesizer. We have 2 layers, and here we have a preset. Well, this is the upper layer. Sorry. This is the upper layer. I'm now playing it solo. And this is the lower layer. I'm now distinguishing it a little bit more. And when I switch to the lower layer, I can see that I'm just editing it because all those things here become green. And also if I enter effects mode, then these effects are only for that lower layer. So this is the upper, this is the lower layer, and I'm now entering utility, and I want to copy the layer. So I copy the lower layer to the memory. And now I'm choosing a different preset. And I'm listening to the lower layer and the upper layer. I'm choosing solo layer now, so I hear them solo. And now in the utility menu, I can paste this to my lower layer, what I just copied. So if I turn off solo layer, I'm having a new layer combination. So in general, when I have 2 MIDI channels that are the same, I play both layers, but I also can choose a different keyboard mode. So I play only one of those 2, or I can just use solo layer in here. And I can also use alternate, and alternate is something I tried out before. I'm having 2 layers now. The one is this one, and the other one is this one, with a glide effect. And they are now alternating. That means each note I play will trigger a different layer, and each layer has a different effect. For example, the lower layer has a reverb and the upper layer has delay on it. Let's take a look at the sequencer. It seems easy, but it has quite a lot of options and things to understand. Usually, if you open up a preset, you will always have a sequence inside, or at least you can save your sequence with your preset, but this preset here does not have something inside. And you have to assign the sequencer to either the lower or the upper layer. And now if you enter record and then go into play, the sequence will play. You can now change the rate, and you can also change the gate length. That means how long you've been holding the keys, or the sequencer will hold the key. If you try to make a sequence while or after you have opened preset and enter record mode, you can see how many steps are already in your sequence. Currently, I am editing sequence 1, and if I add some more notes, they will be added to my sequence. And I can change this if I want to start from fresh by entering the edit mode and then delete all the steps. So I can start from fresh. And now if I play it, that's what it will play. And if I hit the key button, it will only play if I play a key. But this also plays a layer. And the sequence is always the same. So the idea is you can accompany your sequence with a keyboard. But you can also enter transpose mode and then the sequence will be transposed by the key you play. If you enter single mode, you can play the sequence only. And if you use several sequences at once, you can play chords, but you cannot assign different sequences to different layers. Go into my second sequence, into record mode, and the third sequence. I hope I didn't do anything wrong, and if I now play, different sequences can play, but I have to change the number of voices. And if you use this technique with only one step programmed, you can simply play a chord, and you find this here. If you take a look at the sequences, you have those sequences, and in edit mode you see they only all have just one note. So that's how you get the chords. And they sound quite nice. Yeah, and the P-10 can really sound mighty with some pads. Let's hear it briefly. And it's also a really nice bass sound. Let's play some bass notes. But I changed the MIDI channel because I had a different MIDI channel coming from another MIDI keyboard. Native Instruments used to provide Pro 53 and then decided to support it anymore, but the Pro 53 filter is still available in Contact and Guitar Rig, and you can hear similar sound here. The filter is really good. Let's play some sequences. Some naive music. Some clubhouse. dance stuff, or you can also have some effects. So it is capable of cinematic and club sounds as well. And overall, I think it's a really good deal for the price, especially with all those voices you get with this synth, so you can really create some lush pads and atmospheres with the P-10. Don't forget that you have all these effects, which you can access by hitting the effects button, and then you have effects for the upper and the lower layer. You have distortion. Let's hear something different. Delay and reverb and chorus and phaser. And there's also the option to assign Aftertouch, which is only for monophonic Aftertouch in the effects section, and also for polyphonic Aftertouch in the main page, which you can see here. So that's it for our first overview. I hope you are inspired. And if you are inspired by the P-10, consider the other Cherry Audio synths. You have 30 of them in the Synth Stack bundle. For example, here I have the Yamaha CS80 emulation. And well, all those synthesizers by Cherry Audio share a similar system. That's, for example, the option of zooming or the option of using the focus mode to really zoom in and be able to make fine edits. There's also another nice example with the CR78, which is a drum machine. It's also part of the Synth Stack bundle. And look at the design. It's really well made and nice to work with. Apart from that, you also have different pages where you can edit. And yeah, it's really an interesting bundle with lots of interesting synths. Not only are they emulations, they have also developed some synthesizers on their own. So again, I hope you are inspired.